What's up, guys? Coach Shelby back. This week we're going to talk in terms of goal setting and motivation, productivity for the new year. We're going to talk about time management. And this, if you are a young athlete, is one of the biggest skills that you can learn to maximize your game or maximize your efficiency as a player. The first thing I'm going to talk about today is what I like to call, or what is called, the 2-minute rule. And this is a rule established by David Allen, who is a productivity specialist. And his 2-minute rule essentially says that anytime you have something you can do in less than 2 minutes, rather than put it off, simply do it then and get it done with so you can cross it off your list. This is a great strategy for you to think about utilizing when you have very, very small blocks of time, but you can still get something productive done. So when are those times if you're an athlete? Well, there's a lot of windows, but it can be as simple as thinking about times when you were simply sitting there and you could be doing something easy, productive, that requires no warm-up. For instance, if it is before practice time, and perhaps based on the last couple of weeks, we talked about some of your goals and ways to reach your goals. One of the actions might be, I need to get quicker, so I need to do more quickness drills. Well, guess what? In 2 minutes, you can get some footwork drills done. You can get some explosive work done. You can get some pattern work done, some plyometrics done. All of these things, ultimately, when you start to add them up day in, day out, equate again the action leading to the outcome. So in terms of time management, that's dead time. So if you have 2 minutes before a practice and you can use those 2 minutes to work on your quickness, do it. That's going to make you 2 minutes better. And if you do that 5, 6, 7 days a week, multiply that by weeks and months, all of a sudden you've added a good chunk of time to your game where you can improve. Perhaps it is shooting, like we talked about. That gives you a good chance in those 2 minutes to work on some form shooting, right? And you can think technique, and that's something you may not even need a ball for. Perhaps you use mental imagery to try to think about and work on those things. So there's lots of ways you can do this. At night when you're at home watching TV, there's little things you can do. Perhaps when you are watching a game, you spend a couple minutes or perhaps even more watching the game and trying to break things down. Maybe you follow a player along for 2 minutes and try to see how he moves and how he cuts, so you can start to see the little things that they do. So right now, without any excuses, that 2-minute rule is something you can easily implement to get more things done. The second and final thing we're going to talk about is trying to carve out time. And basically what you are thinking about in relation to this is you want to try to find blocks of time when you can make yourself do it. Not on the clock, not at 4 o'clock I'm going to do something, but let's say you have practice at 4 o'clock. Perhaps somewhere in that window between when school ends and when practice begins, you make yourself do one thing. Perhaps it's your 2-minute drill, but you make yourself do one thing before you start your practice. That's like your reward. So if I have a weak core, perhaps I carve out some time and say, any time in the window between whatever it is, 3 and 4, I'm going to get this done. Sometime before dinner, I am going to get this done. And it doesn't have to be an exact number on the clock, but you don't let yourself eat or get to whatever it is that you're trying to work toward until you get the first job done. So whatever that may be, you're going to carve that time out and you're going to hold yourself accountable to it. Again, if you think about last week or the week before, you want to make these actions that you were doing something that you can do repetitively so you can start to build the habit, and then again, ultimately, the habit leads to results.